Hey guys, so the reason I sound like I'm underwater in this episode is because apparently I was recording on my laptop microphone instead of my real microphone. I'm actually very PO'd about this because I thought this was a good episode, so it's just gonna sound like you're in the room with Austin and I'm on Zoom. That's the vibe of the episode, I guess. I hope you can get used to it. Please give it a chance. Please, God, I'm begging you, give it a chance anyway.
Welcome to GLHF Podcast, everybody. We are here back in high school.
I know. I was trying to convince you to do an elementary school, but you said no, probably bad optics. But we're here at high school.
Yeah, we got to work up to that. There's still minors here.
You know what's my favorite thing about this podcast? Wait, yeah. Can we back up? What did you just say?
No, please continue. What's your favorite thing about the pod?
My favorite thing about the pod is that partially I think because you could sense that if you didn't do this, it would be an issue. But you have taken over the duty of introducing the podcast or starting it in some fashion. I have never once, and I never will, be the first person to speak on this podcast. And I love that for me. I think that if that wasn't the case, this podcast wouldn't have lasted as long as it has.
You act like we've been doing this 50 years. I think we're on like episode 7.
In terms
7 or 8?
My ability to commit to things, this is pretty good. 7 or 8 episodes is pretty solid. So, like I said, I was skeptical we'd get to 10, and it feels like it's inevitable at this point. So,
my favorite thing about this pod is that I just get to make you play another stupid game for an hour every week.
Yeah, I'm actually going to, in my thing, I'm going to minimize Movie Star Planet here so you can see what my desktop is covered in right now. It's like 50%.
Is it just all the games you've downloaded?
Roblox, Habbo Launcher, new CP. What else do we got on? Oh, Chinese Simple Life is still here. Movie Star Planet, IMVU. It's just, we're filling up slowly.
Yeah, I love that this has made you add an icon to your desktop called New CP.
Yeah, it's just sitting there. Hopefully nothing happens and my computer never gets seized by any kind of authorities.
I'm like a minimalist. I don't have anything on my desktop. Explicitly, I delete all icons on my desktop.
Oh, yeah. If this was a computer I actually used for anything other than like briefly playing video games or doing this podcast, it would also be clean. But I only ever come in here to download something and then like I'm done with it. So, you know, it's not, it's what it is.
This is a garbage PC.
Are you having a nice day today? What day is it? Thursday?
I am. This is kind of the first thing I'm doing today.
It's like 2 o'clock. Oh no, it's 1 o'clock for you, huh?
Yeah. First of all, give me a break.
First of all.
But I was tired, so I slept in a little bit and I skipped Pilates, which I'm not planning to make a habit of it. As we know, like Pilates is a huge part of my personality now.
You can't skip Pilates. They're going to kick you out of Movie Star High School if you keep skipping Pilates.
This is true because all the movie stars do Pilates. But I went back to sleep, and then I had a nightmare where this is like one of my new bad dreams that I have, is that I become aware that I'm sleeping and I want to wake up and I can't.
Yes, that happens to me sometimes. I've heard people say that is, there's something related, like that's related to sleep paralysis in a way. Like that's what sleep paralysis is like. Only you actually have woken up.
Which I also have had that. Have you had sleep paralysis?
Never. And if I did, I would kill myself as soon as it was over. It sounds so scary. I wouldn't be able to handle it. I'm done if I ever get sleep paralysis. See you later.
I was positive that I was dying.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I couldn't, even though I know that it's a thing, I wouldn't be able to hold on.
It's really weird. I think I've only had it one time, and I just remember waking up and not being able to move or see. Like, I think I couldn't even open my eyes, but like I knew I was awake, but I couldn't move. And I think it's just such a weird state that your brain is in, that the only logical place your brain goes is that you are dying right now.
Yeah, which is like it's a bit like a panic attack in that way, right? Which is it just totally overrides your ability to think, which is so scary.
And then it's so bizarre because when it ends, you just feel completely normal, and you're like, oh, what the fuck was that?
Yep, and you just have to assume that it was nothing, and it was nothing. But do you want to talk about these people? And it was like
4 a.m. and I think I just went back to sleep.
Do you see what they said when they came in?
No, I have not been looking at the screen.
They both came in and they both stood there, and one of them just said, "Let's bully this girl." and then one of them came and stood in front of you, and then we couldn't see you. And then they backed up, and I think it was the same one, said, your outfit is, and then it was a blanked out word, whatever it was. So you just got bullied in Movie Star
I didn't
Planet
even notice.
for your outfit, which I think is kind of fire. I think your outfit looks great. So
I think this is kind of mirroring my real high school experience, I think, is I just got bullied and I didn't even realize because it was too in my own world.
That's really funny you say that, because I had that happen too, I think. Like people will tell me stories, or sometimes and maybe you've had this experience, I'll tell stories of high school and then I'll be like laughing and people will go, oh my God, that's horrible. Are you okay? And I say, what? You go, that was bullying. You were bullied when they threw that book at your head and you started crying. That wasn't funny. You were being bullied. And I didn't really even register it in that way. I don't even think I register it that way now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of like, no, it was funny, you know? So I don't know. I'm not sure how you discovered that you were bullied, even though you didn't know it at the time, but I discovered it through the facial expressions of those to whom I told high school or middle school, really, stories.
I don't know. Listen, I can't even really tell you any specific examples because that's how checked out I was. I'll tell you what I was doing in high school. I had my headphones on and I was like blasting EDM and I was ignoring everybody. So
that's so cool. Wait, what were you blasting? Like, wait, what year was this? 2010-ish? I can't even think.
Yeah, I was in high school. I graduated 2013. So
okay, so yeah, you were listening to like straight up like, this is Skrillex's "Come On," Dead Mouse, like all that good stuff.
I was listening to Yasutaka Nakata's entire catalog, which is a Japanese producer that I like.
Okay,
but I was blasting the shit out of that, and like Madion. I'm trying to think
of,
like,
of course, yeah, when he made that video with all the buttons.
I never really got into Skrillex.
Skrillex was
Shouts to all my Lost Boys, though.
Yeah, shout out to like that first EP was pretty cool. Like, cool is maybe not the right word, but it was seminal. You know?
Yeah, I knew the songs, but I wasn't bumping that in my free time. Never really got into what is it called? Dubstep. I forgot what dubstep was called just now.
Yeah, dubstep. That was an era. Interestingly, Skrillex,
I need melodies in my music.
Skrillex recently had a brief little like comeback. Music now, probably 1,000 times better than the music he made back then. His music now is
well, that
sick.
wouldn't be too hard to do.
Well, it didn't. Yeah, it didn't. It took him a long time. He had to really go through, figure it out, just to step it up.
He went away to a retreat.
He had. I bet it felt like that vibe because nobody heard from Skrillex in 2016. Skrillex could have died and no one would have known. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But
didn't he get canceled at some point?
I don't know. He was in an emo band in like 2008, so almost definitely there's something he did on the MySpace that wouldn't age well at the very least.
Skrillex.
Almost
we
certainly.
tried hard enough. We could find some dirt on Skrillex.
Do you listen to any of that EDM anymore? You like a bit of that or no?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, you like it? What do you like? Listen to a bit of Forte?
I listen to almost everything I listened to in high school still.
What about Simple Plan?
No. What is that? Isn't that?
What do you mean? What is that?
That's not EDM, right?
I don't know.
You don't know either? What are we talking about?
It's like a band, right?
You said, "Do you listen to Simple Plan?" I said, "What is that?" You said, "I don't know either."
You want to see this DM I just got from Nasty Boy, who friended me? He said,
"Yeah,
looking for a BF to love on," or maybe that's just his status, I guess.
Oh my god,
man, bullying and like whatever this is called. He's looking
Everybody go DM Annie Austin on Movie Star Planet. Do you like this dance?
Oh, that's pretty sick. Let me do one too. I'm having a day today where you ever have those days, you probably do because you're a gamer and a YouTuber, where you have to set stuff up to do work, like chords, and it just spirals out of control, and then you're just surrounded by like totally disorganized messes because you had to unplug 1,000 things and you did it kind of messily because you were in a rush, and then all these chords are here and you're just totally surrounded by stuff. That's where I'm sitting right now. I'm in a jungle of lights and cords.
You're like being strangled and
green
handcuffed.
screens and stuff. Yeah.
You're bound up.
So that's kind of I'm bound and gagged by microphone cables is the name of my biography probably.
You got to like switch your shit around a lot.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I probably should put some thought into it at some point, but it does often feel like, I mean, there's a reason why every time we log on to do this podcast, it takes me 5 minutes to be able to talk to you, is because I'm just always unplugging and replugging stuff in between different devices. So
I believe you can figure it out one day.
Maybe. Well, I just got to buy like 7 pairs of everything, because then everything just exists everywhere, so I don't have to move anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I'm pretty proud of my cord situation, but that's not interesting to anybody. So you
seem like you would be a cord person, like you
listen.
Keep them
I got
all
a closet.
Together.
I don't know if you saw on Instagram when I created this closet. I got a closet in this room that has like wire shelves with plastic bins that I should label. I should get a label maker and label them also, but for all my different types of cords. So I got like an HDMI bin and an Ethernet bin and like USB and like everything.
You have enough HDMI cables for a whole bin?
Well, I actually just ran out. I only have one left in there now.
Wait. Okay, maybe I need to define some terms here. How many HDMI cables could fit in this bin?
Depends on the length. I got some really long ones.
Oh, that's true. That is something I'm envious of, is if I had long cables, I could put my things in more places, So I guess I didn't think about that.
Yeah, well, you can buy those now.
Yeah, HDMI has got, you can get them up to how long do they get now? Because it used to be if it was over like 10 or 15 feet, you could lose quality.
I got some 25 footers.
God damn, 25 foot. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've thought about doing that, but I don't know like what the limit is on like USB-C and like what's the data like could I put my Elgato capture card 50 feet away from my PC? Would that work, or is that probably like the data need to do that is too great? I don't know, but
do you have a 50-foot room?
Well, I've thought about how cool it would be if I could like
you living in the Palace of Versailles.
I don't know, yeah, just like have stuff in the outside, inside, in the just all around, and be able to still use it. But it's not necessary. I was just a little brainstorming.
There's a girl standing next to you.
There is, and this guy keeps sending me something. It's a weird.
I think this is the character that you've made in one of these games that looks the least like you.
Really? That's
because you look like a 13-year-old skater boy.
Well, I didn't like the hair. There was no hair.
I don't
Maybe
look
I can change
like
it now.
Either.
Oh, I only have one hair anymore, so that is what it is.
One single hair.
It's the only hair that I have.
I just want to tell the audience, I don't love my bob in this. Okay, this is the only short hair they had, and this is the curling wand hairspray TV bob. This is the bob that they give a girl in a TV show that they want to be seen as a little bit edgy, especially if it's like bleach blonde or it's a different color.
Yes.
As they do this stupid ass.
You don't like it?
If it's asymmetrical, it's even like more on point. It'll be an asymmetrical curled with a curling wand, like loose curls.
So you're a bob supremacist.
Yes.
Like you're like, it has to be a bob.
I despise this bob. I hate when I see this bob on TV. It drives me fucking crazy. But this is the only short hair I could have in this game.
Can you name a character that you've seen with like, or is it just so generic you couldn't even do it?
Yeah. The nurse in Star Trek Strange New Worlds has this hair, blonde, but white blonde. That's like especially cliche when they make it like bleached white, basically.
Yes.
And it's this hairstyle. I just think it's stupid. I think it's stupid in general when I see hair that is clearly curled with a curling wand in that kind of situation, like on Star Trek. Like, that bitch is not getting up every day, curling her hair with a curling wand. But she's not doing that. She has a job in like the military, basically.
Exactly.
She's not doing that.
I think about this all the time when I'm watching shows, like how you can instantaneously pick up on whether a show is like thoughtful and high quality or like cheap and just kind of done by these types of, like, all these little subtleties that you don't even notice when you watch them. Like, you don't even notice it when you watch it right away, but it just feels a little bit wrong. Like the types of things people wear and how clean people are, and what their house like looks like, and how their hair looks and stuff like that. And that's a great, because I always just call it, when I see it in shows, I say these people look like they're on Family Feud, because it just has like this done upness to it. And when you watch a show that's like set in especially like a military Star Trek-y kind of thing, but really anything, people get that Family Feud look, and it just ruins it for me. I can't watch shows that
it's like they bring on hair and makeup people, and they just don't give them any instruction that has anything to do with the show and the situation. They just go do their hair and makeup. So they just do some generic shit that they would do if they were like appearing on reality TV. But it doesn't make any sense in the context.
That's probably what it is just like a general lack of direction coordination. I think about this a lot, is like we definitely make more TV shows than we have people who are good at making TV shows. So there's gonna be a mismatch always, where a lot of stuff is going to be getting made by people who don't know how to coordinate or care about coordinating something to like that effect. And I think that's interesting that we have a higher demand for making TV shows than we have people who like to make TV shows good. Do you know? Like the idea that you would direct a TV show and you would not have some kind of thought about how the hair and makeup, is incorporated into the show is strange to me. Like, you can just kind of have it put together in that sort of a soulless way, or whatever, right?
There's different departments, and so that, I don't know who makes the decisions, maybe the producers, about like who to hire for each department, but like Strange New Worlds writing and like acting is awesome. It's like one of my favorite Star Trek shows ever. I'm like so happy it exists. But it's just the hair and makeup drives me a little crazy. It drives me insane when people are like going into a battle scene and they have like golden eyeshadow and fake eyelashes on.
Well, that's kind of Star Trek-y though in my head, right? Like, isn't Star Trek-y a little funny? Maybe not. I don't know. Am I crazy? Or is it like, Riker's beard always looked nice, like there's this,
I guess
there's a soap opera-iness.
I guess
feel like
a lot of the
Star
women
Trek
always do have crazy makeup on, especially if they're supposed to be like Kirk's love interest for the day or whatever. I don't know. I
appreciate a show that lets a man have a neck beard a little bit. That you see that so seldom. People are so well kept in TV shows. And that's one of the things that even the most like attentive TV shows will often miss, which is like 3 or 4 days into a particular sequence of events, most guys will have a little neck beardy thing happening. And the only like it's 1 out of every 100 movies that you'll see this. But I noticed it when I watched this horrible film, Midsummer, and by horrible I just mean like it was not okay. The things they were doing in that movie were rough.
I'd like to hear more of your thoughts on Midsummer, but finish this thought.
Sure. But the guy, they let, because, they go on this camping trip or whatever in that movie. It's kind of a camping trip. It turns into sort of something else entirely, but ostensibly it's kind of a camping trip. And by the 3rd or 4th day, this horrible guy who's in the thing, he gets a little nasty neck beard and his skin is a little splotchy at times.
Oh, yeah.
I just kind of appreciate that. Like, I appreciate letting people kind of look like people, because I know that it takes effort to make sure that the people look like people would in that circumstance. Because you can just let actors show up and have them look like the actors do as people, but that's not actually going to match. So you put in a lot of effort just to make people look like you didn't put in any effort. And I've always thought that was pretty sick. So Midsummer, thoughts on Midsummer? Supremely messed up movie. My goodness.
When did you watch this?
Like a year ago. I don't know.
You just said a couple episodes ago you don't do horror.
Well, this is why. Every once in a while people bug me. They go, this movie's actually really great. And I watch it and my feeling is always this. It was really great. I didn't need to see that. What a horrible. I don't need to watch people leaping off cliffs and blowing their brains out. You know what I mean? It's none of my business. Good Lord.
That's a great way to put it. It's none of my business.
It's really none of my business. I don't need to know.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it's a fascinating film and it's shot good and stuff. And I thought it was interesting-ish. I like rituals. Like, those are cool. So it's fun to be like, here's... And also, I was pretty based that they were just like, when you turn 70, we'd kill you. That was kind of funny. The way that... Because they're like... And what's cool about that, here's what I did appreciate. Because this is before any of the really messed up stuff happened. I appreciated all that stuff in the beginning. But there was a scene where they talk about how in their society, they kill people when they turn 70. And I feel like most movies would have tried to just get away with that being like a thing that all the characters go, oh my God, this is so great. Like most horror movies would just try to have that kind of not slip under the radar, but like they wouldn't address it. They would just let it be something that any normal person, if they heard that, would go, this is crazy. How are you doing that? But most movies kind of just like have their characters, I guess, just like absorb this information and feel really bad about it, but never do anything. But one thing that I liked about Midsommar is when these things came up, the characters, the sort of fish out of water characters, would talk to people and go, this is really messed up. And then the other characters who were part of this culture that does this had good answers. And that almost never happens. That the people come back and they go, well, think about it. Most people after they turn 70 end up in a hospital. They lose, nobody visits them. It's horrible. It's depressing. You think that's in your culture, this American culture, you think that's better than just ending it cleanly with dignity at 70? That's a good answer to that question. That's someone who's in a cult and has practiced, having an answer to that question. So I had appreciation for having a lot of nuance and like having answers to those kind of difficulties, but I don't know. It sounds like you liked it.
I mean, listen, I might get hate for this. I thought it was fine.
Okay.
I watch a lot of horror. I consume a lot of horror media, especially about cults. I've seen a lot of like cult documentaries and cult like reenactment shows and such.
Yeah.
And I just pretty much knew exactly what was going to happen the whole time. So it wasn't, I don't know, it didn't disturb me that much. I knew those old people were going to jump off that cliff from the second they were walking up to the cliff.
For sure, yeah,
so,
but ma'am, their brains came out. What do you mean it didn't disturb you? Their brain exploded onto the rock.
I guess I've seen too much in my life.
I guess so.
But so many people were like that. That's the moment that shocked me in the movie is they actually jumped off the cliff and fucking died. And I was like, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, but you know it's going to happen. But I don't know. If I was like, ma'am, I'm going to, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. But if I was like, I'm going to do something and then I did it, you wouldn't be like, I knew that was going to happen. You told me it was going to happen. No big deal. I'm just saying. Holy cow.
So I don't know. I thought it was well made.
Strong vibe.
But it wasn't. Sure, yeah. There were vibes for sure.
Oh, I got removed from the chat room for idling too long. Hold on, I'll come back.
Yeah, that's why I started dancing.
Did you have any
I need to be doing something.
Particular topics you wanted to talk about today out of curiosity? Anything on your mind? Oh my gosh, you've made so many friends since I left.
MCR Killjoy 13. Shout out.
Let's
Shout
go.
Out.
MCR.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then they're going to try to talk to you back.
Yeah, true. I don't need these kind of relationships. Yeah. What do you want to talk about today? What do you got?
Have you ever been pulled over?
Yes. Once for no reason, twice for a reason.
Because I was telling this story to my mom the other day, and it just cracks me up. This one time I got pulled over. I was driving through the country in Indiana, and all these country roads, you go like 55, and then you go through all these little towns.
Yeah.
I guess I wonder if like if Minnesota has the same thing.
Yeah, where the speed limit goes like to 10, and then it back up to exactly. 70 and
through the so you're going 55, which really means 70 to me on this country roads.
Okay, put a pin in that. We're coming back to it.
Yeah, put a pin in that. And then you go through these towns that are like 5 buildings, and just for the length of the 5 buildings, it'll go down to 30, which is like a crazy jump down.
Right.
And then it goes right back up to 55 on the other side.
Okay.
So, sometimes you got to make judgments when you can see the whole town in front of you and you can see the other side already. Are you really going to slow down that much?
Mm-hmm. And what did you decide?
Anyway, so this one time, I was actually not speeding that bad on the 55 parts. I had my little brother in the car next to me. And I went through this town and slowed down, and then I was like halfway through it, so I was like right in the center of the town. Once again, the town only lasts 30 seconds that you're driving through it. I was like
That's a really cool way to put that. It only exists it's only there for 30 seconds. Like, as far as 99.99% of the world is concerned, this town only exists.
3 houses.
Yeah.
It's 3 houses and a church and a pizza place.
And
they
a
always have a pizza
5-lane
place for some
highway
reason.
going between it, 70 miles an hour.
Anyway, so I'm like in the center of the town, and I can see the sign that says 55 in front of me. And so I start speeding back up, when I still have like 2 of the 3 houses left.
Right.
And I get pulled over because I think this cop was just hanging out in this town waiting for people to speed through the town because they know that people do this. And I didn't actually end up getting a ticket. He pulls me over. He says, "Why were you speeding?" Which I love that question.
So good.
What am I supposed to say? I was speeding because I was speeding. Like, what I don't know what kind of answer they expect when they ask that.
Yeah.
Why were you speeding?
I
don't
wanna
know,
what you
because I
said.
was. But I told him the truth, which was that I could see the 55 sign and I knew that it went back up. And so I was just kind of preemptively speeding back up, maybe a little sooner than I should.
Yes.
And surprisingly, he didn't seem to have any problem with that. But then he moved on to, here, you want to do a little role play?
Okay,
I'll
sure.
be the cop, you be me.
Okay.
Okay. So we've just had this conversation about, I said, I'm speeding back up because I can see the sign.
I can say that. I'll say that. All right. Oh, I saw the sign. It said 55, and so I started to speed up so I would be, going the right speed when I got to the sign.
Okay. Do you have anything I should know about in the car?
Yes.
Okay, well, you say no. I said no.
Sorry. No.
Like any weapons?
No weapons.
Got any alcohol?
No alcohol.
Any weed?
No weed?
Do you have any weed in the car?
Do I have any weed in the car?
Yeah, like marijuana?
No.
Okay. You got any cocaine?
Any cocaine? No. No.
You got any fentanyl?
I do not have any fentanyl in the car, officer.
You have like pills?
No pills.
Heroin? You got any heroin?
No heroin. Guess again.
Okay. Well, so what you're doing is exactly what I did. Was just I started to giggle after like 3 of these questions because I'm like, what?
Wait.
He's just listing things.
Yeah, that's
and
really
keep in
funny.
mind, my 13-year-old brother is sitting next to me during all this.
Did he really say, just out of curiosity, I'm sure that you took some comedic liberty maybe, but did he really say fentanyl?
Yes.
That's a crazy thing. Okay, whatever. Continue.
He was just listing drugs.
Yeah, but it's like, I feel like
I'm
you
pretty
don't...
sure he got all the way to heroin.
Maybe I'm wrong, but like most people who are traveling with drugs aren't traveling with just straight up fentanyl, right? Like you wouldn't...
I don't know, man.
Probably it would be something laced with fentanyl, like heroin or something, but I don't know. I'm not a drug guy. I don't have any fentanyl in my car.
I'm not a drug guy either. But it was just a really funny situation because imagine me and a 13-year-old sitting in this car.
Yeah.
And asking us those questions.
That is hilarious. And you just said no and started giggling. And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
See ya.
And I think he might have given me a warning, whatever that means, but nothing came of it. I didn't get in trouble.
Yeah. You'll be happy to know. Well, you'll be sad to know because it means you were wrong. But you'll be happy to know because you love knowledge that the speed limit does begin at the point of the sign being crossed. So you were wrong. You can't speed up before the sign. So keep that in mind next time you're
Oh, I
driving.
know that. I know I was doing something wrong, but
Oh, you just said, okay, I got it. All right, well, hey, as long as you...
I was just being honest with the guy. That's
Bad
what I was
move when
doing.
it comes to the cops. You should have said yes to all his drug questions
just
and then
hoping
let
I
him
wouldn't
search
get
the
caught.
car and then be like, why did you say yes? You don't have any drugs.
I wonder if I had done that, if he would have found like some dust or something and arrested me.
Yeah,
for
you
it.
never want to actually take those kinds of risks unless you have... I guess now that I'm a YouTuber, I probably could stand to go to jail for a couple of days. So I could probably experiment. Like if I got pulled over and I said, and
What
they
do you
were
mean
like,
by that?
"Do you have any?"
What do you mean by you can
like
stand? To
it
go
would
to
be
jail
okay.
for a
Like I
couple
won't.
days?
My job is not going to fire me. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to whatever if I have a thing on my record. But I'd be curious if I got pulled over.
Whoa! Take a look at this guy, Edward
Crazy,
Scissorhands
yeah,
over here.
jeez. If I got pulled over and they were like, "Do you have any drugs in the car?" and I said yes, and then they searched the car and there weren't any, I wonder if they would just. I'm sure like there's obviously a percentage of cops that would because they would do it anyway. But I wonder if they would just search and then be like, that was a waste of my time. And then I'd be like, exactly. I kept you off the streets, kept you from endangering anyone else.
They probably would charge you with wasting their time or something.
Oh,
Is that
they
something
can do that.
do?
That's true, right? Like wasting of public resources. It would depend on how obstinate you were being, probably.
Yeah.
But if I was like chill and cool, you know, I'd probably be fine.
just be chill and cool with the cops.
Yeah,
Has
no
anybody
big
ever
deal.
tried that?
But lie to them a lot and send them on a wild goose chase as much as humanly possible. That's my opinion. Have some fun, you know, lighten up. Anyway, that's a funny story.
Anyway, what
so
have you been pulled over for? You actually got tickets or what?
I was just speeding. You know, like the 2 times I got tickets twice. The first time actually was when I moved to New Orleans. I'm not advocating this behavior at all. It was very unironically dangerous. But I had driven for like 24 straight hours, which is really, really stupid. You shouldn't do that. And we were at the last hour of just trying to get to New Orleans. We had 3 cats or something in the car. 4 cats in the car? 3 cats in the car. It was just a nightmare.
Jesus.
It was like the worst night of my life was driving through the night with all of this stuff. And I was just trying to get there. And I was going like 14 over, which my opinion is and honestly, this is my opinion of you
That's
speeding
not
through
that
these
bad.
towns. Okay. No, but I think you're allowed to get pulled over if you're going over 10 over. Like, it's fine.
Okay.
I don't care. Like, I'm willing to go, yeah, I was speeding. It's no big deal. Like, you can't just be like, you're allowed to break the law a little bit. Like, if we're going to have laws, the laws are the laws. Like, it is. And I'm fine with that.
Sure.
I can deal with that. But here's my opinion of you speeding through these small towns. I actually think you should speed through these small towns and you should also get pulled over sometimes. Like, I think you should just do both, is like speed through them.
Just accept
and then,
it
yeah,
as
just
a
like once every
tax
50 times
once in a while.
you pay the town $200 and move on, you know, like that's the trade, is we have this like gentleman's agreement. And this
I'm
is how I
making
think
my own toll road.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And as you know, the more money you make, the less of a toll it is. So it's no big deal. But that's my relationship with the laws in general, I think, provided we're speaking in very like concrete, you know, we're not talking about any sort of like racial profiling or excessive whatever, which is always going to be a part of it. That's the nature of the state, you know, that just excessive use of force and stuff. But I do think that 9 times out of 10, you should just, if you need to break the law, just do it. And that just, if you get in trouble, just be like, yeah, okay, that's fine. It's like you just pay a fee to, it's like microtransactions, you know, if you pay it, you get you get a bonus, and you get to, you know, you got to speed because you paid the microtransaction to the cops. And that was that, you know, so.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I'm looking at emotes that I can buy.
Ooh.
And I think this game has somehow profiled me because I can buy an emote of me playing a 3DS.
Get out of
and
town.
There's another one of me sitting on the floor playing some kind of game console on a TV.
Whoa. Oh yeah, there's the 3DS one exists for me too, which is really funny. I like this one where I'm like doing like a daddy pose, or like not daddy, but like I'm talking to someone that I would be calling daddy. Oh, it's called emo state. Okay, that makes sense.
What? Which one are you talking about?
You know, I'm like kind of like with my legs on the
fine.
ground. You know, I was like, ooh, never mind. Just forget I said anything. Cut that part out, ma'am. Okay, will you?
Wait, that's funny that it says emo state.
Emo state. That's an emo state of
Now
mind.
I'm having flashbacks of like people would take pictures like this on MySpace.
Oh yeah, that's true. You would like do that, and you would be sitting on the floor. Yeah, emo pictures were fun. That was like a cool vibe.
I hate this dance that I'm doing right now.
Yeah, it's really bad. I can't stand to look at you.
The King Tut or whatever.
While you're doing that, yeah.
Yeah, just don't look at me. I can't stand to look at you.
Why? Jeez, come on, get out of here. This is nice hair. First of all, shout out to all of our listeners with this haircut and also bleach blonde bobs that are asymmetrical. I mean, for God's sake, Jesus, you're going to alienate these people.
Oh my God.
I think you guys look great. I think all of you look great, The only person...
I love you all. I might puke violently when I see you for the first time, but I still
when's
love
our
you
first
anyway.
meetup? That's what we got to do. Oh, it's at VidCon. That's right. So yeah, don't come to VidCon with bleach blonde hair unless you don't remember to be sick.
Are we having a meetup at VidCon?
Absolutely.
This is news to me.
You already know.
Oh no.
We're gonna have a house probably, right? We're gonna get a whole house. We're gonna invite everyone over. No, we're not doing that. I'm gonna have a hotel room on the top floor of a thing that's nowhere near anyone else. That's my goal.
We get a party house Airbnb for the weekend.
I was talking to someone else who said that that's what they do, and they were like, "You can stay in it," and I was like, "Fuck, absolutely not." You do not know me at all. We're not doing that. What a nightmare! Could you imagine that?
I would do it.
What if I wake up and I'm mad? I don't want to be around people. You know what I mean? Like I can't take that risk. There's no way I can guarantee that I'm going to have 5 really good days in a row. And I would need to be able to do that if I wanted to stay around a bunch of YouTubers, So I'll take my chances in the penthouse suite of the Hilton something. I don't know. Someplace.
Yeah, you'll be up in the penthouse.
I'll be way up there. You'll be on the first floor. And I'll throw stuff down at you. I'll throw stuff down the garbage chute.
Throw me some scraps.
Yeah.
This is just a metaphor for our YouTube careers.
That's
just you
exactly
up there
right.
throwing me scraps.
And eventually I'll fall off the balcony and you'll move up the top,
I'll kill you and take your place.
Ooh, that would be exciting. Okay, I'm into it. I like this as the potential future. What was the point of your story about breaking the law a whole bunch all the time?
Oh, I just thought it was funny. I just remembered that.
No, it is. It was
about
funny.
How he just listed 10 different drugs, asking if I had them.
I think that is amazing.
I just think that was awesome.
It is awesome.
Awesome
Good for
use
him.
of his day.
Was he chill for a cop?
Does he sound like he was chill? No, he was not.
He could have been
chill.
doing it funny,
No, he was trying to.
He was being dumb.
He was trying to find something.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that he let you off because.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he did. He could have gave me a ticket for speeding. I told him I was.
Why else would you do that? Why else would you be a cop in the small town pulling people over, if not to generate revenue? You would assume, right?
I don't know.
Also, here's a question. I could probably answer this pretty quickly and easily, but I'm going to choose not to.
Must be my pretty privilege.
Could be. It could have just been, he saw the Bob and he said, this is probably pre-Bob, I guess, but.
It was pre-Bob.
Wow.
It was pre-Bob.
Try it again with the Bob. See how it goes.
What were you about to say?
Well, I damn near forgot, I think.
Something else I was thinking about.
Okay.
High school assemblies. You ever have an assembly day? You just go watch an inspirational speaker instead of going to class.
I think most of those in high school I skipped, but we had them in middle school a lot. I don't even think we had them in high school, but we had them all the time in middle school, where they'd come in and show you why not to touch wires that are hanging off of things, or else you'll die.
Is that what yours were about?
Yeah, it was always stuff like that, or it was why not to just stupid stuff. Not stupid, it was good information. I remember they had a little action figure and they put him between the 2 wires and we watched him melt. So that was kind of fun. Yeah, they were like, this is what'll happen.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I had any that were.
Well, I'm probably kids electrocuting themselves in your town, I guess.
Maybe poor electrical infrastructure, perhaps. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. Anyway, you have high school assemblies. Everywhere. What'd you learn? You learned about prejudice and stuff?
Well, I've just realized, one of the things I've realized growing up, because I'm a grown-up now, I'm actually almost 30. Is that crazy?
I love that for you.
This year.
That's incredible.
I find myself thinking about that and looking back on my 20s already. I'm 29. I'm aged now, and I look back on my 20s as an era
Yeah.
that's passed.
Okay.
Even though I still have like a few months left. What the hell was I talking about? One thing that I've realized as I've grown up is that a lot of things that schools did, like not everything was a well thought out part of the curriculum, right? Because I think when I was in school, I was like, surely all of this is planned out to be part of my education. And then I just remembered the other day that like some of these assemblies would be like a magician. and
no way, that's amazing.
And so it's clearly just a way, I think, for the teachers to get rid of us for a while.
You know, it's probably partially that, but I'll tell you what, if there's one lesson, there's so many lessons, but if there's one big lesson I learned from managing a restaurant and working in a larger sort of company, it's that most things that happen are just because someone had an idea and people just didn't have the energy to tell them not to do it. And
exactly.
I feel like that's probably what occurred is someone was like, wouldn't it be sick if we got a magician? And the principal like just was in the middle of something. And he was like, what are you talking about?
It's
okay,
like, yeah,
write up
whatever.
a proposal then. Write up a proposal. And then, he wrote the proposal and it was like a month later and the principal had, there was some budget thing and something. And he was like, yeah, just get a magician. It's fine. And I feel like most things that happen are just because of that energy. And we think that things are, and this is like why I think conspiracy theories are mostly dumb, because I think most, generally speaking, we don't like coordinate anything. Like aside from like a war, there's not like a lot
this
of.
Is very true.
We mostly just like one person decides to do something, and if they get lucky and nothing gets in their way, it happens. I don't generally think that.
A lot of decisions get made because somebody just makes the decision and nobody else is willing to.
Yeah,
or cares
exactly.
enough.
It's like it really is that simple. It's just like a small group of people that are trying to be people and like have a conversation, but they all have too much to do, and like whatever can get done in that environment is what ends up happening. That's not to say that like everything is fine, but like I think we tend to underestimate just how like almost. Ambivalent's not the right word, just kind of like indifferent or happenstance that like a lot of these things occur. It's not a coordinated effort. When a restaurant like changes something on the menu that makes you really mad because they don't have it anymore, the whole restaurant didn't agree to do that. It was like some person came in and said, we don't sell very much of this, and another person said, I really like it, and they go, I don't care, just do it. And then everyone discussed and said, should we fight this, or well, we have to fight him on this other thing, so let's just take this item off the menu. It's no big deal. Like it's stuff like that. Like it's all these interpersonal funny little things. So my guess is it's that energy that gave you a magic show. And this was high school, you said?
I think so, yeah.
What kind of magic was it? Did you get up on stage?
No.
Don't say that like it's
great. Do I seem like the kind of person that would volunteer to go up?
Flashback. I won a karaoke contest on a thing when I sung the songs and I did a great job.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
But here's the thing, is I had some level of confidence in elementary school, and then in middle and high school I became a complete freak.
Okay.
And then now I'm like,
you're getting it back.
I'm coming back into myself.
I love that for you.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure there was a magician, and then a bunch of them would be
the story is getting shakier as you keep telling it.
A bunch of them would be like inspirational speeches from like a guy with one leg. He would come and like talk about how he has one leg and how that doesn't stop him from climbing Mount Everest or whatever he was doing. Did you have something to add to that?
It's slightly an anecdote, so I would like to let you finish. If this is I can't tell if this is going somewhere or if you're just like opening up the floor.
The floor is open if you have a guy with one leg story.
The only story I have like that was there was a camp we got sent to. It was like a day camp when in the summertime. It was called safety camp, and they would teach you. I was getting a lot of safety. I'm not sure if like maybe my parents saw something in me that I didn't, but I went to a lot of things that taught me how to not die. So I went to this thing called...
This is why you had death anxiety.
I guess so. Safety camp, and they would do things like they would wheel in like a a 50%
Safety
sized
camp.
house. So it was like a house, but shrunk 50% because we were small. So it was okay. And then they would fill it with smoke and tell you had to crawl through it and not breathe in the smoke to teach you how to like not inhale smoke, whatever. Anyway.
Was it real smoke?
Who knows? I don't know. It definitely wasn't regulated. So, and it was black. So could be. Anyway, that we had an inspirational talk of a guy who I think he didn't have any legs and his arms didn't work or whatever. And he was in a wheelchair. And, you know, most of these, like you said, you get these people, they come in and they say, here's how I didn't let my disability stop me and blah, 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 blah. Which of course is a truth to it, but I think we're coming to learn now that it's more nuanced than that or whatever. Like everyone has a different life. Who cares? Whatever. His thing, he spent the whole time talking about how shitty his life was because he didn't have any legs or anything like that. Like he told these stories where he would be like, one time I tried to get into my apartment building and these kids had broken the button to the automatic door opener button because he had this stick that he held in his mouth, which is pretty sick. He was able to do a lot with it, but he would use this stick to push the button. And he said these kids had broken the button. And so he sat out there in the Minnesota cold. It was negative 15 degrees and he just sat there and started freezing slowly, you know? If he hadn't already lost his limbs, he would have lost them in this circumstance, is basically the implication.
He's going to lose what he has left. He's
right.
going to lose the tip of his nose.
And so he just told stories like that about how, like, I mean, basically...
Yeah, I do remember that, too. I do remember some of them would be talking about how shitty their life is, and I guess the point is that you're not going to be shitty to people then, because they're giving examples.
Yeah,
of
and
things.
So I think it obviously is just to instill, like... Thinking back on it, I think all of his stories had to do with teens breaking the buttons that opened the automatic doors. So I think
he had like many stories.
It was like
this.
3 different stories, and all of them incorporated the fact that he wasn't able to use the buttons to get in places.
Okay.
So I think that was
sending a strong message not to play with those buttons.
Yeah, it's totally possible he like worked for the button lobby or something and was just a secret agent. But at the end of the seminar, he was like, I draw pictures with my stick in my mouth, and he drew me a little Pooh Bear, a little Pooh Bear drawing.
You personally?
He did it for like everyone. He drew a whole bunch of them.
Okay. How many people were at this camp?
Probably like 20.
What was it called? Death camp?
Yeah, death camp. It was death avoidance behavior camp. But it was like 20 people in this little particular.
So did he say anything about how to avoid death, or it was
no? Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really think about how he didn't really. Maybe he like lost his legs in an accident or something, and they were trying to say like, "This will be you if you're not safe." I don't know. I can't recall. It's just those funny things that happen when you're kids. But
oh my god,
I remember being a really funny dude. But I just thinking back on it, it's funny how all of his stories were just like, it's hard not to have legs. It really makes life hard. And obviously the point is to us. Please don't make it harder for us. You know, like there are things you can do to be mindful, but
for sure.
That's my story.
This has reminded me of an incredible summer camp story of my own and like my family's, because multiple kids in my family went to this same summer camp.
Awesome.
And I guess I don't care should I say the name of the summer camp? It was in Indianapolis, Indiana.
It doesn't matter at all.
And some people might know what I'm talking about, but it was set up by our school district, but they also did like preach the Bible at the camp, which was strange because it was a public school district thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mike Pence, shout out.
But I had a long conversation with my cousin over the winter break about this because I completely like blocked out so much of what happened at this camp. But a big part of the camp, I believe, was trying to teach kids, and this is elementary school age, trying to teach kids about like hardships that, certain populations go through, whether that's like people starving in other countries or like the Holocaust or whatever. And my experience, what I do remember is that there was a whole day of the camp where we only got to eat like half a cup of white rice.
No. That's incredible.
Because they were trying to teach us about starvation.
I love that. Good. They should. They shouldn't even let you eat anything. I think that's amazing.
So I remember we hadn't eaten yet. I don't know how exactly they organized it. Maybe we were just like doing activities all day, and then this was going to be like our one meal. We all pile into the mess hall and we don't know what's going on. And then they serve us all this like half a cup of rice and give this speech about how this is going to teach us what people go through. This is like all people eat for a day in whatever countries they were.
Do you remember
about.
How that felt? Were you hungry?
Yes, I was hungry. I remember being mad about it. I remember telling my mom about it when I got home, and she was mad on my behalf. But anyway, that's what I remember from my experience. My cousin had a different lesson that they did. She was describing it as if like I would have went through this too. But I think I got the starvation version, and she got the Nazis version.
Well, do you remember what that was like?
But she was telling me about it. Essentially, and I wish I could remember if I went through this or not, because some of the things that she was saying, I feel like I remember, but I might be implanting memories in my own head.
Yeah.
Basically, they went through a simulation as if they were being chased through the night by Nazis shooting at them.
Shit.
So it starts. I wish I could remember.
Did you say the name of this camp? What's the name of this camp? This seems illegal.
Camp Tecumseh in Indianapolis.
How the hell do you spell that?
I don't know. It's like a Native American name or something. And this is what they're doing on the grounds. Just anyway, the experience starts with everybody's like in a group with a what's it called, like a chauffeur. So my aunt, my cousin's mom, was like one of the chauffeurs, and apparently the chauffeurs didn't even know what was going on in the experience either. But it starts with your group gets on a bus and you think that the bus is going to go somewhere. And then a Nazi comes up and shoots your bus driver dead.
Oh my God.
And then you start this like long, like it sounded like hours long experience. This is at night of
this can't be real. There's
like
no way this is a real thing. Did you pay for this?
You're running through the forest you're running to different checkpoints, and there's like Nazis in the forest searching for you with flashlights that you have to hide from.
Get the hell out of here. This is crazy. I need to figure this out. How is this a thing that you're allowed to do? I cannot. I'm Googling this right now, like frantically trying to find any evidence. I'm searching up Camp Tecumseh, Indiana, Nazi starvation, and I can't find anything. You need to go figure out whatever parents or people, you need to find evidence of this. Because this, first of all, is probably a lawsuit of some kind, but I need to know who said this was okay. This is insane.
Either I went through this and I blocked it out, or we just had different versions of the camp, and I got the starvation one.
I'm going to email them right now.
You're going to email them. It'd be so funny if anybody that listens remembers this experience.
That's insane. Oh my God, I'm Googling this crazy. As soon as we're done. I can't believe that. And how old was this? You were what?
This is elementary school kids.
Yeah, it's like you're not even going to understand. Like, what did you learn from that?
No.
Nothing.
No.
It's just that I'll tell you what, all those people probably were just Nazis and needed an excuse to do it, they wanted to I don't know. And the way my aunt described it, because she was a chauffeur and she didn't even know what was going on, but what they told her earlier in the day was like, oh, just get ready, we got something really fun planned for tonight. Speaking of cults, dude, that's not okay.
Yeah, it is weird.
I'm a big fan of this. I don't know how, whatever. I'm going to donate to this camp. Like I said, it was also
very weird that it was you're going to donate. I thought you were like getting ready to report them or something.
Well, yeah, both. I feel like we should have these things, and they should sometimes get shut down by the government. It's the same thing as with the breaking the law.
It's the same thing with the speeding, yeah.
Yeah, like we should have these horrible things that happen, but sometimes they should get shut down. So there should be a chance, But I think it's good to have a society where like a portion of people have an experience like this, where you're like, that wasn't okay, right? Within reason, of course. So donate. Look at that. There's a donate button right here. It's a YMCA camp. Does that sound right?
Probably.
Can you just between now and next week? Can
I guess that's why it was
do
Christian.
some research. Is the Y Christian?
Young Men's Christian Association?
I didn't know that it stood for something. I thought it was just Yumka.
You didn't know that?
Well, I don't know. I probably would have thought. Well, first of all, you could say that, but it's also not just young men. So obviously, the name is only it's not that important,
Right. Well, in today's 2025 woke society, they have to let women in too, but
and
it
non-Christians.
was originally a men's club,
What the
men's
heck?
Christian club.
I probably would have thought it stood for like youth marching camp association, or I don't know, just something. I guess it kind of sounds like it was a youth marching camp organization.
Now I think they've rebranded a lot of them to just say the Y, because they're trying to get rid of the Christian Association or the Men's Association, either or both.
Well,
anyway, so yeah, that camp story is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. I'm a big fan of that.
I'm not really sure what that was supposed to teach us.
Well, everyone has, it seems like everyone has like a weird camp they went to. I think it happens especially with, well, maybe not, but I feel like we both grew up pretty poor, right? So you just get sent to whatever camp it has you do it for free or whatever, you know?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so,
I was going to the YMCA like after school thing.
Yeah.
Just because that was what was available.
And your parents just cross your fingers so they don't teach you any like crazy propaganda. And it's always wrong. They do every time. So
yeah, I think the good thing about me just kind of ignoring everything as a kid is I wasn't really propagandized because I was not listening.
You weren't propagandized because you weren't listening. I'm gonna have to think about that, Mem. We might have to swing back around to that.
I was reading Junie B. Jones.
That's propaganda.
When the teachers were talking.
Junie B. Jones, sick, incredible books, so unbelievably good. Mm-hmm. Stupid Smelly Bus, ridiculous. What was the other one? Yeah, we read Junie B. Jones all the dang time. What was the one where she went to prison or whatever?
I don't remember that one.
It had her in a prison jumpsuit on the front of the book, but yeah, Junie B. Jones was fantastic.
Yeah.
Remember that? She went to jail for...
What did she do?
Probably speeding through a small town. That's probably where you learned it. That's probably the propaganda is Junie B. Jones, and you were like, I don't have to follow the law. So you say you weren't propagandized, but you read Junie B. Jones, who went to jail, and then you started breaking the law.
Maybe you're making connections here that I haven't even made.
That's why I'm saying we have to swing back around.
I mean, I do think that being served half a cup of white rice for the day was the beginning of me not trusting authority as much. Because I was like, this is not.
Hold on. How does that make sense? Who gave you the white rice? The authorities.
What are you saying? I should be grateful for my half cup of rice?
Just saying. They could have not given you any rice.
I should be grateful that they at least gave me that.
Yeah. You know, what is that? That's not about trust. They told you they were going to give you rice, and they did. That should build trust.
It was unjust.
Okay, well, that's not trust. That's different.
You know, there was a lot of stuff going on in my K through 12 curriculum where they were just trying to traumatize us. Because we had the Kony 2012 presentations. But were you like out of high school by the time that happened?
Yeah, I was just seeing it as like memes. I was pretty focused on my YouTube career at that point. Which is funny if you think about it. Yeah, I was head down
in the YouTube career.
So, but I remember that, yeah. I remember people trying to convince me that it was really important and me being like, who cares? And then eventually feeling bad because I realized it was about like child soldiers.
But so are you aware of like the campaign they did at high schools? Because that was like one of the craziest things about it to me.
I don't know. I didn't. I knew that like most of the story I know is it was a thing. It was a meme on Twitter that then turned into a campaign that I thought was mostly online. That then the guy went in the street and did the bad stuff in the street.
Yeah, and he was like not a good guy, right? And he was like embezzling the money.
I believe so. Yeah. I think he just went crazy, kind of, right? He just like was doing drugs or something, or maybe I don't know.
I don't know, but it was a huge like marketing campaign, and they would go to high schools, which is crazy. Like why are they looking for donations from kids? I'm not really sure.
Can you?
There's something that rubs me the wrong way about it.
Can you riff alone for 2 seconds? I'll be right back. I have to go do something important. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Just riff. Don't cut this out. I want you to riff.
Well, do you want me to wait for you to tell you about it, or? Okay, guys, here I am alone. I'm looking at like a Furby with zebra stripes on it. I got removed from the chat room too. I didn't even notice. I was too engaged in that conversation about Nazis chasing children. Leave your thoughts in the comments about Nazis chasing children. Would you let Nazis chase your children? I don't know. It might be good for them. Teach them that Nazis exist, I guess. Are you back, Austin? This is scary.
Yeah,
I'm alone.
I wanted to listen and see what you were saying. I didn't actually leave.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. I did leave, but thank you for your patience.
What are you getting, a snack or something?
Yeah, carrot. I needed a carrot.
You and your carrots. I love this for you.
They're good for me.
You know, I'm just going to start thinking of you as that clip of Millie Bobby Brown. She takes a big bite of a carrot and she says, "The dirtier the better."
Oh, I didn't know that.
And she
Wow.
looks exactly like a Wallace and Gromit character. when she
Millie
does
Bobby
that.
Brown Carrot.
The
Oh yeah,
dirtier
look at
the
that.
better.
She does.
And then somebody, I think, animated it.
Wait, she said the dirtier the better?
Yes, about carrots.
I don't know if I agree with that. Well, I don't know. Whatever.
I don't
I'm
know
not here
if
to judge.
I don't think anybody would agree with that.
Well, I did get made fun
She's
of
gonna
once.
get E. coli from her carrots.
I got made fun of for not peeling my carrot, which I thought was weird because someone told me you're just eating a dirty carrot, and I'm like, it's not dirty. I washed it. I just didn't peel it. So maybe I can relate to her in that sense.
You just gotta hit him with the dirtier the better.
All right, I'll try that next time.
Yeah. Anyway, Kony 2012. They were showing this documentary at high schools. Impressionable kids, of course, are going to feel very emotionally moved, and they're going to go buy the bracelets. They were selling like those rubber bracelets. Every like cause was doing that. They had rubber bracelets for their cause.
Yep, started with Lance, right?
They were selling bracelets and like merch of some kind, and trying to get people to donate. So it was basically like, because the teens really just have their parents' money. So they're like getting parents to donate through the teens, which is just a little shady. I don't know. Because then it would become, the whole school would be talking about it. So it would become like a status thing.
Like if you weren't
donated, and
yeah.
Like you're a bad person if you don't.
Yeah,
anyway,
there was a lot of stuff
weird.
like that. I guess that's just kind of high school.
Really weird.
It is weird. I don't, unfortunately I was not totally connected to it in that way, other than just I thought it was on the internet mostly. Also, did it even do anything? Like, is that guy still
come
alive?
Back to this chat room? Where are you right now?
I'm here. You're not here. I'm here.
Oh, I'm alone.
Oh, maybe we're on different servers. Sorry, let me try a different server.
We should go to a different location. I meant to like switch locations halfway through.
Okay, yeah, let's pick another one. Oh, look at that. We made it to the cafe. Oh, it's busy here. Let's go sit.
Look at Corn Dog.
Let's go sit on the table.
There's some naked women in here.
No way. Oh, yeah, there is. Well, okay. Yeah, I can see your Christian upbringing from the camp coming out. Naked women.
Had some kind of influence on me.
There you go. Propaganda. It's coming out. The more we talk, the more propaganda we get. Do you want to do feedback? Did you see any interesting feedback from the last episode?
I do read them. I don't write them down. Did you have anything to bring up?
Honestly, most of them were just comments. There weren't a lot of questions, which is fine. I don't care. You know, it was people just being like, what a great show. You guys are the best. I love this so much.
Yes.
I know. It's good. I feel like this Titanic one, for how chaotic it felt doing it, it's hitting for people. They like it. So we shout out to all the people.
I know. I think the pod is good for me because we do it every week, and I just kind of do it however I'm feeling, because I get really in my head about recording. I only want to record on good days where I feel like I'm confident and funny.
Yes. But
I think it's good to just do the pod and just do it regardless and post it. And it helps me realize that nobody else notices the differences in me as much as I think they do. 100%.
That's extremely real. I also am every day grateful that you pushed to do this in video games, because you were like, I don't want to fucking make myself look nice, necessarily. Obviously, we both look nice all the time. We're great. But, I don't want to have to lights and the clothes and hair and all that. So it was a good idea. Okay.
That's me. Good ideas, mem.
Yeah, that's the only types of ideas you have. Are you working on a video? You are. We talked about this last week. Roblox.
Well, I'm not doing that one right now.
Oh.
I got a couple things in the works.
Look at
I
that.
am working on some. I did want to mention for my viewers that are like, hey, you haven't posted in a month. I'm aware. I'm working on it. I'm going to record some more today. It's happening.
The statue of David wasn't carved in a day. It honestly might have been. I don't know, but I assume it wasn't.
I don't think so.
I doubt it.
I think you probably spent a day on the wiener.
Excuse me? Oh,
what else were you going to say?
Yes, I understand. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, people, the only thing that people did bring up the Costa Concordia. You remember that?
Huh?
The Costa Concordia? Because last week I was like, has anything like the Titanic happened since the Titanic? And people were like, the Costa Concordia. You remember that?
I don't know what that is.
It was like a gigantic cruise ship that basically Titanic'd itself. Not as many people died on account of they had enough little boats.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like 30 some people or something died. And there's this really crazy picture of the like boat kind of because it was in relatively shallow water and it also wasn't in the middle of the winter. So that helped, obviously. But yeah, it just like struck a rock and tore open I'm reading it now, a 174 foot long gash on the hull, which then flooded the engine room.
It's like sideways.
And then, yeah, it kind of like sank and landed sideways, and it was just on a little underwater ledge. Apparently, it was close to just falling into the ocean, but it was right there. So, and I believe the big drama was that the captain, as soon as it happened, he was like, "Get me off of this boat," and he just got off. And I think he went to prison. I think it was Italy, and I think they put him in prison. They were like, "You can't do that."
That's illegal?
Let's see. He was tried and found guilty of manslaughter, as well as causing a maritime accident and abandoning his ship. So I guess maybe in some countries or maritime law or something, there is something. We'll have to look into that. But he went to prison, and it says here he went to prison for 16 years. So I guess that was in 2012 that this happened. Is that right? Yeah. So he's probably still in prison. We'll have to look them up.
I've never heard of this. It looks like they were near land already.
They were. Yeah, they were pretty close, which again is why not a ton of people died. But like 32 people on a ship sinking, you kind of feel like similar to a fire drill at a school, like people shouldn't die from that. It should sink slow enough and you should be able to get off. And remember MH370? You must know about that.
What are you talking about?
Are you serious? You know, Malaysian flight, whatever. The plane that just disappeared.
Yes. Okay, I've heard of this.
Okay, geez. We almost went a whole episode without me bringing up planes.
My memory is really bad. I don't remember anything in general.
You think it's getting worse?
God, I hope not. You're going to make me start thinking about whether I have dementia.
Can't you just like play Tetris and take vitamins?
I'm working on it.
Okay. The last comment I wanted to bring up was Wizard Girl, who said you guys should do Movie Star Planet. And surprise.
Would you look at that?
Is that why you knew about this game? Because of that comment?
No, I've seen it before. I do think I never played this growing up. I think this was maybe a little past my time. Or I just wasn't aware of it. I don't know. The
art style makes it look like 2014-ish, would be my guess.
I've seen it on YouTube. I think it's kind of ugly, honestly, when I look at it.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. It reminds me of the like early phone games you could play on like a Motorola Razr, or it's like pre-iPhone touchscreen phones would have games that kind of looked like this. I did want to ask, I saw a lot of comments talking about microwaving dog food, and I'm not joking. I have no memory of talking about microwaves or dog food on the last episode. No, that was
on my stream.
Okay.
Because the day that we recorded last time, I also streamed and talked about the dog, and I had to feed the dog during the stream. And I microwaved her food for a few seconds because it was in the fridge, and it seemed like she didn't want it cold, and I hadn't asked my mom if I was supposed to heat it up or not. And everybody in the chat was screaming at me like, "You're such a dumb bitch. Why would you microwave the dog food?
That's awesome.
It's just going to smell. Nobody does that." And it wasn't that crazy because there was like a little bit of kibble in there, and there was also like rice. And so I was like, it's not crazy to heat up rice
Yeah,
in the
I don't-
microwave.
I love that that's the type of chat you have. I think that's hilarious. But
They didn't call me a bitch. That was
I know it'd be funny if they did, though.
exaggeration.
Not to say that that'd be funny, but like it would be funny. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why that would be not. I mean, obviously, I don't think the dog cares, so maybe it's silly in that way. But
It turned out my mom did text me back like 20 minutes later, and she said, "No, don't microwave it," and
Okay.
I already had.
it doesn't matter.
But listen, the dog ate it. The dog is alive.
Yeah. Wait, why wouldn't the
I
dog be
think-
alive?
Mission complete.
I don't think-
because I like watched her for the day and she survived.
Oh,
so I
that's
think
what
I
you're
did
saying.
my
Gotcha,
job.
Gotcha. Okay. What is that? That's about an hour, right?
Yeah, we got to shut up.
Okay.